Everyone, welcome to Around the Diamond. It has been a while. I'm joined by Rhett. Rhett, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Doing quite well. And Ryan. Ryan, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
So this season, we're gonna kind of tackle the MLB season as a team. So you'll be seeing Rhett, you'll be seeing Ryan, Jack, Chris, Aaron. Everyone will probably make an appearance at some point because the MLB season is just really, really long. We'll be focusing primarily on the Red Sox. We're a Boston fan base, we're a Boston based channel, all of that. So, with that being said, Rhett, let's start this off. How are you feeling about the Red Sox heading in to spring training?
This is the best we've looked in years. How can you not be hyped? I mean, the moves we're making. How can you not be hyped about this?
Yeah, so big move right now, Bregman, right? Can you tell me a little bit about the move and how like you feel about it? And then Ryan, I want to get your opinion on it as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, like the true fan in me, kind of hated it, and obviously, I'm a huge Arenado fan. I have been forever. So I was
Mhm.
like, man, I don't care. I want Arenado at third. But the more I look at it, the more I think it makes a ton of sense. He's going to be playing Pepper with the Green Monster the entire time, and yeah, the AAV is really high on this one. I mean, it's 40, but we're deferring some of that so we can learn from the Dodgers, and B, if that's what it took to get him for 3 years, then that's what I want because that's exactly what we need him for. When you look at who we have coming up, I mean, we have Christian Campbell coming up and we have Marcelo Meyer. That's two spots in the infield that are going to be taken by young guys. Devers doesn't want to move off third, although he should because he's statistically the worst third baseman defensively in the league. Hell of a bat, worst third baseman. And then Tristan, maybe not, can make it work at first. We have potential options at first base when it comes to that. I think if you lock him in for 6 years, we're paying a 36-year-old Bregman to sit the bench. I would rather get him paid now and have the spots open up down the line than the other option. Even if it is 40 a year, you pay a premium to be able to get out of those deals.
That's fair, Ryan. What is your first reaction to the signing, and how are you feeling? It's been about a week, right? Not even
Yeah, I
like
mean, I think he's
Not
a
even,
little
yeah.
older than you might expect. You are paying a lot, but the thing is you're getting him 30 to 33 is still prime, I think, in MLB terms. And I mean, he's just great fielder. I want to say he's got insane Fenway Park stats. I want
He does.
something like no one has hit better in over 90 at bats there than like I think Ted Williams. I read something like that, so that's pretty crazy.
He's got a 1.24 OPS. To Ryan's point, like that's how good he is.
Yeah, so and he's excited to be here. I also think, right, it's a like Rhett said, you had 3 years of him, and with all these guys coming up, you get a good veteran presence who seems excited to be in Boston. Right, you can kind of lead a core of infielders. I've been thinking for a while, like why Rafi wasn't a first baseman who they tried to like almost immediately move to DH once they could. I think that's got to be. I'm hoping that's the move this year is that they do that. But then, like Rat said, Casas is still trying to work out the first base position too, and obviously you want both of those guys in the lineup batting. But yeah, I think it's very exciting, right? To have plus we got someone like Rafi. I think Bregman's a good fit with him, where he's a little more of like a consistent hitter. I believe so. And then, right, he's obviously a better fielder.
No,
A little more
he is a much
well-rounded.
He's a very good fielder.
But still, like, right, more than like say you pair someone like Bogarts next to Devers, Bregman's got a little more slugging ceiling, definitely more of a slugging ceiling. So it's like you got a couple guys that can hit some bombs, right? And then you have Casas in there, you have the Duran. I mean, there's a lot of excitement, I think, in this lineup.
Yeah, and so before we started recording, right, you had mentioned that like you kind of wanted to touch on the kind of transitional period the Red Sox are in coming out of, the moves they made to win a World Series. What, like, God, 7 years ago now?
It's been 7 years.
And then we've kind of had this lull, but now hopefully we're coming back to contention. Can you kind of, fill in the audience on your feelings there?
Yeah, I mean this is what Dombrowski does. He won the World Series with the Florida Marlins in 2003, and everyone knows that they sold everybody. I mean, the Red Sox made out. We had Mike Lowell and Josh Beckett from that team, and then won another World Series in 2007. He did the same thing with the Tigers. The Tigers never won a World Series, but they had probably, I mean, not probably, they had the best team in the early 2010s. It was the worst luck that they never got it right. And the Tigers just made the playoffs for the first time last year. It was a decade for them. And this is what Dombrowski does. The Marlins still haven't been back. They can't piece it together. I think that we have done a phenomenal job in setting ourselves up to go from having the worst farm system in the league to having, and this isn't hyperbole, the best farm system in the league. That takes years to regrow, and we've done it. And we're to the point now where we feel that we can pay Bregman extra money per year to have the options. And now it's go time. I mean, yes, we're talking about Bregman, right? But with the Walker Buehler signing, with the Garrett Crochet signing, our bullpen and our rotation has gotten a lot better. We got rid of Jansen. I'm not saying that Aroldis Chapman is going to be the guy. I don't think he's been the guy for a little while. But we're making the right moves. And the other thing is we're avoiding arbitration, which is something that we have not been doing for a long time. And that creates animosity with the players. Now we're avoiding that. Tanner Houck looks great. Brian Bello looks great. I still think that their ceilings are higher than what they are. We have a healthy Story. How long is that going to last? I don't know. We have a healthy Whitlock. How long is that going to last? Again, these guys are a little bit injury prone. I know when Whitlock's on, he's the best bullpen arm. And I also don't think that that's very close. So, if you're not excited about the Sox this year, I don't know what to tell you, because this is the best we've looked. We are primed and ready to start a World Series window. And we're watching the Yankees World Series window close at the same time. It's a great time to be a Red Sox fan.
Yeah, Ryan. Any thoughts on all that Rich just said?
I think so. I think a Dylan Cease move could be really interesting. Just in the sense too, with like Brian Bello, to Rhett's point, I think people kind of underrate his ceiling. Where I think the expectations were so high because of the Pedro endorsement, and then he just had such a poor relative start. But I've always thought he could be a really good third best pitcher on a team. So I think you get Dylan Cease with Tanner Houck, him, right? You're starting to rebuild the rotation. And I mean, I'm really excited about the younger guys. Again, did Duran win the All-Star MVP last year? If he can watch his mouth and all that, if Tristan Casa,
perfect Boston player.
Yeah, for sure. And then I mean, it's you mix that in with Tristan Casa's quirks. If he can basically stay healthy and not have someone punch him in the face for being weird and annoying, I think he could be really exciting. He's got, in my opinion, the ceiling. I don't know, Rhett, you could comment on this too, to maybe hit up to 40 home runs.
I think he could.
Yeah.
I always get a little bit worried about lefties in Fenway just because it's so deep in right field. We start talking power numbers. But to your point, both Bello and Casas, they don't have to be the guys anymore.
No.
We have the guys. We have the Buehlers. We have the Crochets. We have the Bregmans. We have the Devers. They don't need to be the guy. It's not, the season's not going to ride on them. Casas felt that last year.
Yeah. And Casas
if I don't perform.
He can be like John Olerud now, right? Kind of a guy who's known for his for certain quirks, and just doesn't do much except just randomly be does that dude have 38 home runs?
Absolutely. And then the guys that we're bringing up, it's a better mentality where people can talk, and I know that people say that football's the biggest team sport, and there's something huge to be said for that. And I'm not saying that there's not, but baseball, man, when you're a hitter, you come up one every 9 times. And if you're convinced that the game's going to ride on your at-bats every single day, you're never going to be in a good position.
Yeah, I agree.
We've been. Yeah, exactly. So being able to have these guys take the pressure off themselves and be just go be your best version, whatever that is. It doesn't need to be good enough for us to win. It needs to be whatever you have, because we have other guys who are going to help us win. And that's how this whole thing works. I think you're going to see a lot of growth from a lot of guys this year.
All right. Well, anything else you wanted to add before we get on out of here after this first segment?
This AL East is going back to the AL Beast.
Yes.
Between the Orioles, who I really think are going to have a bounce back season, the Yankees, who were only in the World Series last year, and now the Red Sox doing this. We're probably going to see 3 90-win teams again.
Love that. It should be fun. It should be a fun summer. I'm really excited to be talking about the Red Sox again. And, I thought this segment was great. Yeah, you're both so knowledgeable, and, it's going to be a good one. So, Rhett, tell them where they can find you online. Anything you want to promote, floor is yours.
Oh, man. We were doing a lot. We were doing a lot with soccer, swinging at shins. Mostly you can find me on the Wicked Good Sports channel. We do have a Swinging at Shins channel as well if you want to find me over there. And if you're listening to a baseball, always in the description. If you're listening to baseball, you're also into soccer, man, go check us out there. But everything baseball, I'm going to keep it on this one.
All right. And Ryan, same thing. Anything you want to promote? Tell people where to find you, anything like that?
Well, I think we have our NBA segment on here on Wicked Good Sports as well, right? If you want to check out that. And if you're a nerd and things more than just sports, me and Brian have some Game of Thrones stuff, and we're hoping to kind of respin it to some degree, maybe like touch more on just pop culture in general. So check that out as well.
Yes. So go check out Better Radio for that podcast. That is, of course, Wicked Good Show, bringing it back from the dead. Dylan, Ryan, and I, and then hopefully everyone else can come on as guests and talk about whatever shows and movies that, strikes their fancy. But main channel, Wicked Good Everything. Got a lot of videos going there. We also have Those Fake Nerds, which is our news pop culture channel. And of course, like I said, Better Radio for all of our podcasts that don't have to do with sports are on that channel. So thank you guys so much for your time. And I'll see you all in the next one.